my sister made like hardcore fun of me for this poncho, but I totally love it. Whatever. Hey, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're choosing to hang with me today, and we're going to have the best time really empowering you to understand and overcome imposter syndrome. Before we dive in, I have a couple of exciting housekeeping announcements, which are that if you want to hang out during the week and like between episodes of the show, I'm most active on the gram at Julie Bethany. I also have a free mini course called From Stuck to Re-Inspired, and after months of pouring my heart and soul for you into that, it's live and will walk you through how to figure out what next steps to take toward the life of your dreams if you're feeling a little stuck in the suck in life right now. And it's totally for you too if you don't even know what you want next. All you have to know is that you don't want to stay where you are right now, and that free course is for you. Check it out at juliebethany.com/courses. That's juliebethany.com/courses. Okay, so let's dig into imposter syndrome. We're going to chat today about what it is, where it shows up the most often, and where it comes from, and finally, how to overcome it most importantly. Now, let us begin with what imposter syndrome even is. I'm sure you've heard that term before, but let's really put it into context. Imposter syndrome, most basically, is the feeling that you're not deserving of the place you're in or want to be. So, for example, you might have gotten a new promotion at work and you totally earned it, or you wouldn't be there, friend, but you may not feel like you deserve it, even though you earned it. So really, imposter syndrome can also be defined as the feeling that you're not deserving of what you've earned too. And this commonly comes up in a lot of different scenarios. So number 2, where it shows up most often is in one of these scenarios. Scenario number 1, you just got awarded something for your effort. This can be a new title or promotion, an award from the office like World's Best Boss, or anything else that you've earned. Number 2, when you've made a significant positive life change, like getting really healthy or upgrading your living situation or changing something about your life for the better, like getting a great comfy poncho and living in it. And number 3, imposter syndrome tends to show up when you start imagining or working toward a dream or goal that you've never achieved before. Imposter syndrome tells you basically in all of these scenarios, this isn't who you really are or what you really deserve. Look at the evidence. She's petty. You've never been like or had this before, so you don't deserve to have it now. Oof. It makes you feel like an imposter in your own life. And if you listen to that little voice, you will self-sabotage the success you've created and earned for yourself. And we don't want that. So we'll get shortly into how to overcome imposter syndrome and quiet or respond to that voice with a more empowering point of view. But let's get to the root first of why we even experience imposter syndrome so we can fully understand how to overcome it and its weaknesses. Okay, so the reason we experience imposter syndrome mainly is so simple. It's because we are mostly, except for maybe when we're hangry or the like, logic-based beings. We build our understanding of the world around us and what it's like based off of logic and evidence, aka what we've seen and therefore learned about our world and ourselves before. And this alone is what makes change so hard in so many of our lives. We don't love change because we know what we know. Simply, we are familiar with what we've seen and experienced, and when that changes, or we want to change it to pursue a better life for ourselves or a better version of ourselves, our brains are at a loss because we haven't seen ourselves be successful in what we want yet, and all evidence has previously pointed to the contrary, even maybe, which is why it doesn't logically make sense for us to think we could be successful in something new. Imposter syndrome is our brains trying to logically protect ourselves from failure and embarrassment and keep us within what we know, which is like, sounds nice of it, and it's all well and good until we want to experience better things for our lives. So we have to overcome that very natural imposter syndrome response we experience that tells us that logically we haven't succeeded in an unknown thing before, so it's quote unquote not safe for us to try. It's trying to keep us safe, but it creates limitations to our potential. So, how do we overcome imposter syndrome so that we can pursue better lives for ourselves and upgrade to better versions of ourselves and continue growing? Well, we beat the imposter syndrome at its own game. Those of you who are competitive will love this, but I am not competitive in the least. I want to be the former versions of myself, which is why this whole podcast and vlog and my business are dedicated to helping you become even better versions of who you are so you feel like you're able to be the truest to yourself possible. Because remember, the truest to you version of yourself is the best version of yourself. That's who it is, who you are. But I do not care in the least if someone beats me at basketball. My ball will maybe hit the rim or ping pong. Watch out if you're unintentionally in danger of God knows where the ball's going once it leaves my paddle, or Uno, which I will say I'm pretty good at, but I care zero about winning. But if you're like me and you aren't competitive, the key is getting competitive with yourself. So how do we do that? I interrupt myself for this very important announcement. You're so welcome. I am beyond excited to share with you that I have a free mini course you can take right now, but also maybe wait until after you finish this episode. But to each their own, I'm not going to stop you from doing you. But the course is about helping you get unstuck and re-inspired if you feel like you're in a place, like a lot of us do often, honestly, where you just don't know what you want next for your life, or if you do, how to get it. The mini course includes 10 quick minutes of me sharing strategies to help you get unstuck and re-inspired, and comes with a complimentary one-page journal entry you can download for you to work through what you want for your life and how to create the momentum to get what you want next for yourself in the easiest and fastest way possible. And you'll take away actionable items you can apply right away. And as a bonus, after the initial course, if you still left wanting more, I'll tell you about my full-length version of that course that will walk you through creating a goal and a plan to achieve it in order to get you closer to the life of your dreams you want to be living, and the exact steps to do that over the next 3 months. I will hold your lovely hands in mine and guide you toward figuring out what you want and then how to get it efficiently if you want to take it a step further. I shall run the marathon with you after the sprint so that in 3 months you will have achieved something you really want in your life. All good things take time, so for the sake of the best version of yourself and the life you could be living 3 months from now, which will fly by, you don't need to put off your dreams any longer. You deserve to live the life of your dreams as soon as possible, because why not? So let's start today. I'm ready. Are you? To check it out and get the free mini course so you can apply the tools to improve your life right away, and or to learn more about the full-length course about going from stuck to re-inspired and really crushing a massive goal in only 3 months' time with me, the links are included with this episode. I can't wait to see what you create for your life with it. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. In order to be the voice in the back of our head trying to keep us safe and telling us that change or anything new or any dream we want to pursue is dangerous because we don't have evidence we'll succeed in that thing, so we shouldn't even try, we need to double down on that limiting belief and turn it into an empowering belief by using its own weapon and its own games against itself. Its weapon it's using and its game it's playing to try and defeat you and make you feel defeated is evidence. Evidence is the key to overcoming imposter syndrome. And there's 2 ways we can use evidence to overcome it. Way number 1 is to remind ourselves of the evidence we have for overcoming something similar. If you've just gotten a new promotion and title you've never had before and you don't feel like you can manage it or that you deserve it, compare it to something similar. Maybe you've been awarded other promotions in your life and you just tackled that just fine. Or maybe you've been given more responsibility because you've earned it in the past and you got into a new groove just fine with that too. Use evidence of similar things in your past to quell that voice in your head that says that you've never done this before and therefore shouldn't do it. You have. It just looks different. And sometimes you need that reminder. Now, way number 2 is useful when you don't have a really good comparison, or even if you do, you could still use it. Way number 2 to use evidence to overcome imposter syndrome, wait for it because this is wild, is to create a new evidence that backs up your empowering belief that you can and will succeed in the new thing you're doing or want to do. When you start doing, you create momentum to keep going and things get more familiar to you and your limiting beliefs calm down a little bit because that voice in the back of your head trying to protect you sees that logically you are doing the thing. Piece by piece, day by day, you are creating evidence by doing something that you can do it. It seems so simple, but we miss that a lot. Our brains like familiarity. They feel like they need to protect us if something is unfamiliar, which is nice of it to give it some credit. But if you make something new familiar to your brain, it will relax and chill out and take a nice little break from yelling warnings at you and sounding the alarm. It will calm down. Pop a Corona Light with a lime that is very popular on the West Coast, but is alarmingly difficult to find in New York City for some reason, and that distresses me greatly. But I digress. Imposter syndrome is you trying to protect you, even if subconsciously, so make it feel better. Use evidence, whether past or created, to overcome imposter syndrome. I adore Jenna Kutcher, who has the #1 marketing podcast of all time, Goal Digger. And she said recently something that was so impactful to me about imposter syndrome. Well, to all of us, but it was impactful to me is what I'm saying. She said, "You're not an imposter. You're just a beginner. Stop confusing those things." So powerful. You're just a beginner. You're building evidence that you deserve and have earned to be in the room you're in, to eat at the table you're at, that you brought the table you're eating croissants on. Because of course you're eating croissants because you're fabulous. Also, really quick important PSA, if you've never tried an almond or a chocolate almond croissant, you are totally missing out. I beg of you, almost as strongly as I recommend hushing up that imposter syndrome, to hush it up by putting one of those in your mouth to block your words. It will stop you dead in your negative spiral of thoughts and pure bliss. Anyway, be the change you wish to see in the world, of course, MLK Jr., but also be the change you wish to see in yourself. You are not an imposter. You are just beginning this journey to becoming the best version of yourself, living the life of your dreams, which is really just by being truer to who you really are. You are becoming more of, not less of, the person you are when you work toward your dreams and who you want to be. You have those dreams for a reason. Go get them. Thank your imposter syndrome for looking out for you, then tell it, then show it with evidence that it's entirely wrong and you deserve and have earned the things you have and want for your life. And as a reminder, if you want more practical tips on how to create the life of your dreams step by step, that free mini course from Stuck to Re-Inspired is just a click away, and you can watch it next if you want at juliebethany.com/courses or in the show notes. So with that, go create the life of your dreams by being the best, which means the most joyful, truest to you version of yourself. And I'll be here along the way to empower you to do that. I can't wait to see you soon. Say hello. What would you like to tell the peanut gallery today? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, bye. That was a message. Okay, bye.